On paper, Vegas should be booming. Hotel profits are up and the Strip is flush with new events. But behind the glowing neon, convention attendance has crashed 35%. Young visitors are vanishing, and casino floors sit eerily empty even on weekends. Staff have been slashed, blackjack tables abandoned, and guest lines stretch for nearly an hour. This is not just a slow season or an unlucky streak. It is a deep, systemic collapse that casinos are desperate to hide. But how did the world's top tourist city push away the very people it was built for? And what does that reveal about the real forces destroying Las Vegas today? Convention attendance in Las Vegas has cratered, down 35% from its peak. The city that once hosted the world's biggest trade shows and corporate gatherings now watches as planners quietly reroute events to Austin, Nashville, and Phoenix. The numbers are brutal. Visitors under 40 have dropped 28%, a demographic exodus that strips the Strip of its future. Casino floors, once packed shoulder to shoulder, now echo with emptiness on Saturday nights. Blackjack tables display minimums of $25 to $100, yet dealers stand idle for hours, waiting for players who never arrive. This is a crisis. Internal casino reports paint an even starker picture. Gaming revenue is falling quarter after quarter, even as operators push prices higher in a desperate attempt to offset the slide. Executives tout strong profits to Wall Street, but those numbers are built on layoffs, slashed hours, and vanishing amenities. Behind the glowing headlines, the workforce shrinks and service withers. This isn't a seasonal dip or a temporary blip. Tourism economists warn that the downturn is structural, a fundamental breakdown in the business model that built modern Vegas. Guests who do come spend less time, less money, and leave with less reason to return. While corporate statements blame inflation and outside forces, the city's own data tells a different story. The flow of money and people that sustained the Strip for decades has been cut off at the source. A veteran convention planner, once responsible for filling tens of thousands of rooms each year, now finds herself in a city where the old playbook no longer works. She's not alone. Across the industry, professionals are staring down a reality that no amount of marketing can disguise. Vegas isn't just hurting, it's unraveling. At the Bellagio, a line snakes through the marble lobby on a Wednesday afternoon. Guests clutch suitcases and glance at phones as the minutes crawl by. 45 minutes, sometimes 60 minutes, just to check in. A front desk clerk, eyes rimmed with fatigue, apologizes for the wait. She is covering double the number of guests she did 3 years ago. Management has cut 30% of hotel staff since 2020, but the room rates have not budged. On the casino floor, Maria Torres, a dealer with 12 years behind the felt, stands at a blackjack table with no players. Her shift, once filled with banter and tips, now stretches into hours of silence. Maria says it is like waiting for a bus that never comes. She remembers being busy from noon to midnight, and now she is lucky if she deals 10 hands in a night. The impact is not limited to workers. Convention planners, once loyal to Vegas, are blunt about why they are taking business elsewhere. One planner explains that her clients faced basic daily costs of over $400 per attendee, just for a room, a quick meal, and the ride from the airport. People expect Vegas to be expensive, but not to be gouged. When you pay for luxury, you expect service. Instead, our guests waited nearly an hour to check in, found half the restaurants closed, and could not get a drink by the pool. That is not a premium experience. On weekdays, entire wings of hotels go dark. Pools sit empty, with only a handful of staff on duty. Restaurants lock their doors from Monday to Thursday, leaving visitors to wander the Strip searching for something open. Dealers and housekeepers pick up extra jobs or watch their hours vanish. The city feels hollowed out. Guests who once came for seamless service now stand in lines, stare at closed signs, and wonder where the magic went. The numbers are easy to track, but the real story is written on the faces of the people who built Las Vegas and the visitors who no longer feel welcome. A $99 room in Las Vegas once meant a $99 stay. Now that same room quietly balloons to $180 or more after a tangle of fees, resort, facility, and parking charges, each stacked on top of the base rate. The numbers are right there on the final bill: a $55 nightly resort fee, $25 for parking, and a raft of minor charges, all labeled as mandatory, whether you use the amenities or not. Over the last decade, resort fees have multiplied 6 times, jumping from $10 in 2010 to $55 or more in 2024. What started as a minor add-on for Wi-Fi or pool access has become a core profit engine, often adding 30% or more to the advertised price. The deception runs deeper than sticker shock. Fees are buried in fine print and revealed only at checkout, leaving travelers blindsided and angry. A weekend stay advertised at $299 can easily total $680 after all the hidden charges. Parking, once a symbol of Las Vegas hospitality, now costs up to $45 a night. An unthinkable reversal after 70 years of free and easy access. These are not isolated cases, they are industry standard, rolled out in lockstep by MGM, Caesars, and their competitors, with each new fee hike matched almost instantly across the Strip. Behind closed doors, corporate memos and earnings calls lay out the strategy. Use fees to boost margins and hit investor targets regardless of guest outrage. Lawsuits and consumer complaints pile up, but the practice continues, defended as industry standard and necessary for competitiveness. The result is a citywide bait-and-switch that has destroyed the trust Las Vegas once enjoyed. Travelers leave feeling duped, their loyalty replaced by a bitter sense of betrayal. A single TikTok about a $17 bottle of water at the airport racks up over 1 million views in hours. Underneath, thousands of comments pile up. Stories of hidden fees, empty casino floors, and outrage at what Las Vegas has become. The algorithm takes notice. Negative content about Las Vegas now gets 3 times the engagement of positive travel videos. On YouTube, a creator posts a 15-second clip titled "Las Vegas is a Scam" in 2025. Within 48 hours, it has been watched over 10 million times, with a 45% average watch time and a flood of Me Too response videos. Instagram Reels and Reddit threads echo the same sentiment. The phrase "Las Vegas is a scam" trends on X for 3 days straight, drawing over 1 million impressions and tens of thousands of shares. Every new complaint amplifies the last. Algorithms feed users more of what keeps them angry and engaged. A meme about a $33 bagel becomes a rallying cry. Booking sites report a 20% spike in cancellations in the days after major viral posts. Caesars and MGM see bookings drop by double digits in the weeks following these digital firestorms. Search terms like Las Vegas expensive surge by 300% on Google. Casino public relations teams scramble to buy influencer posts and launch glossy ad campaigns, but the backlash only grows. Paid partnerships are dismissed as fake. Travelers trust the viral clips, not the marketing. The self-reinforcing loop is clear. Outrage breeds virality. Virality drives perception. Perception kills demand. Executives admit in earnings calls that viral negativity is now a bigger threat than any single competitor. The Strip's decline is no longer just a story of bad value. It is an algorithmic echo chamber where every angry post turns directly into empty rooms and silent tables. Mobile sports betting, once the exclusive domain of Nevada, is now legal in 38 states. More than 65% of American adults can place wagers from their phones without ever setting foot in a casino. The Supreme Court's 2018 decision cracked open a market that had belonged to Las Vegas for decades. Overnight, states like New Jersey and New York began reporting betting handles that rivaled or surpassed the Strip. Meanwhile, over 500 tribal casinos have sprung up nationwide, bringing slots and table games within easy reach for most of the country. The impact is clear on the Strip's balance sheets. Table game revenue has dropped 22% since 2019. Slot play, once a steady engine, has stalled or declined, even as operators raise minimums and fees. Vegas no longer holds a monopoly on gambling. The action has moved closer to home, and the city's old advantage, being the only game in town, has vanished. The market share that built Las Vegas is leaking away, one bet at a time. San Francisco's hotel towers stand half empty, waiting for a convention crowd that never returns. Viral videos about street crime and $7 coffees have pushed occupancy to a fraction of pre-pandemic levels, with tourism recovery stuck at just 2%. In Napa Valley, visitors still come for the wine, but a single glass now costs $28, and tastings run $70 or more. Social media quickly brands the region as a playground for the rich, not a haven for wine lovers. Miami, Orlando, and Honolulu face the same backlash: surging prices, cutbacks in service, and a flood of online complaints that spread faster than any marketing campaign. Each city believed its reputation would protect it, but one bad experience can now ripple out to thousands of cancellations. The pattern is unmistakable. When travelers sense they are being squeezed, trust collapses, and entire destinations find themselves fighting to win back guests who may never return. If Las Vegas can fall, nowhere is safe. Younger travelers are rewriting the rules of tourism, and Las Vegas finds itself on the wrong side of history. For Gen Z and millennials, the old promise of neon excess and endless gambling holds little appeal. Experience matters more than spectacle. Authenticity trumps artifice. A $500 national park adventure or a week in an international hostel now beats a weekend lost to hidden fees and overpriced drinks on the Strip. The post-pandemic mindset has shifted from "you only live once" spending to a careful return on investment approach. Every dollar is scrutinized, every review dissected. Experience matters. Before booking, modern tourists search TikTok for exposes, scan Yelp for red flags, and dig through Reddit for unfiltered warnings. A $14 bottle of water or a disappointing show becomes viral ammunition, shared and amplified in seconds. Vegas's brand, built on sin, secrecy, and indulgence, now repels the very people it needs to survive. The new traveler is not coming back for nostalgia. They are looking for meaning, value, and trust, and they are finding it somewhere else. Las Vegas poured over $10 billion into sports and entertainment infrastructure, betting that spectacle could replace substance. Allegiant Stadium rose from the desert at a cost of nearly $2 billion, financed with public bonds and private money. The MSG Sphere ballooned to more than $2 billion by the time it opened, while Formula One's citywide track demanded another $500 million in upgrades and exclusive payments. T-Mobile Arena, casino renovations, and a string of sponsored venues pushed the total spend even higher. The logic seemed unassailable. World-class events would bring back the crowds, restore the city's buzz, and paper over the cracks in the old business model. But the calendar tells a different story. Allegiant Stadium hosts 8 NFL home games a year, a handful of concerts, and the occasional monster truck rally. The Sphere, for all its hype, sits empty more than 200 nights a year. Formula One brings a tidal wave of tourists for 3 days every November. Even with the NHL, UFC, and marquee concerts, the Strip only fills to capacity for 10 to 15 weekends out of 52. The rest of the year, the billion-dollar seats sit vacant, and the city's new identity as an event capital fails to deliver the steady, year-round demand that conventions and leisure once guaranteed. Tourism economists are blunt. Dr. Anthony Curtis, who tracks Vegas event economics, says you cannot spend $10 billion to fix a broken business model and expect it to pay off with a dozen busy weekends. The math does not work. These projects create short-term spikes, not sustainable recovery. The irony is hard to miss. The city's biggest gamble was not on the tables, but in boardrooms and bond prospectuses, betting that infrastructure alone could buy back loyalty that years of cost-cutting and price gouging had driven away. Las Vegas built its fortune on a promise, excitement, value, and a sense that anything was possible. But reputation, once lost, is nearly impossible to regain. In just 18 months, the city's image, crafted over a century, collapsed under the weight of millions of negative digital impressions. Psychologists who study consumer trust point to a brutal reality. It takes 7 positive experiences to erase the impact of a single negative one. Now multiply that by millions of angry posts, viral complaints, and damning reviews, and the scale of the damage comes into focus. The phrase "Vegas is overpriced" has become a fixture on Reddit, TikTok, YouTube, and every major travel forum. It is not just a complaint, it is the dominant story, repeated and reinforced until it drowns out every attempt at rebuttal. Couples planning vacations scroll past glossy ads and influencer reels, only to land on endless threads warning them to go anywhere else. Even deep discounts and last-minute deals cannot overcome the avalanche of authentic, negative word of mouth. Economist scientists tracking the fallout warn that this is not a cliff. As bookings fall, hotels and casinos push prices higher on the visitors who remain, hoping to protect profits. But each price hike triggers a fresh round of outrage. feeding the next cycle of cancellations and viral condemnation. The downward spiral becomes self-perpetuating, with fewer guests, higher costs, worse reviews, and a reputation that slips further from recovery with each passing month. Once, Las Vegas was the first choice for dream trips, bachelor parties, and milestone celebrations. Now, travelers are choosing Tulum, Portugal, or Thailand even when those trips cost more, because the value feels real and the welcome feels genuine. As one economist put it, no amount of marketing can overcome a broken promise. In the digital age, reputation is everything, and for Las Vegas, it may already be too late. Today, every tourist city faces the same volatile equation: trust lost faster than it can be rebuilt, and viral backlash is rewriting decades of brand value overnight. Vegas proved that no destination is too iconic to fail when profit replaces loyalty. As digital word spreads, only genuine value survives. The question now is simple: who will listen before it's too late? Share your thoughts. Where do you see travel going next?